Hey everybody, it's been a long time since I made a video. Are we waking up out there yet? I am just astounded about what's going on in the past week. I am just overwhelmed, and I'm sure you guys are overwhelmed. I want to go over a little thing that I predicted a couple years ago. I mean, it was nothing special. It was just a couple things that I was putting together, just looking at the news, looking what they're pushing in the news, look what they're doing in the real world, the whole works. Just looking at the trends that they're talking about and the trends that they're implementing on all of us. Okay? So they were putting these little feelers out back then about, how they're gonna, implement this stuff eventually. Okay? Just little feelers, like just, putting the idea out there. Now here it is. I mean, August 1st, you can no longer live stream on YouTube the easy way. Okay, they're making it more difficult for people to use other platforms that aren't as easy to use as Google Hangouts. I mean, it was very easy to use for the average person to just get on here and start streaming. Now you have to go an extra step here and there and use other softwares. So, okay, that started August 1st. What else came out August 1st? The FBI documents about how they're going to label people domestic terrorists. Okay, that came out. Okay, what, a day or so later, 2 different so-called shootings came out, right? And the reason we're going to call them so-called is because there's a lot of questions that people are having about this and about how they're relating it to New Zealand and these other events. How they're relating it to the extremist idea. Okay? Is it a coinky-dink that this stuff is all coming together and being put together the way they want it to? No. And then I'm going to show you some news articles that just came out. It'll just flabbergast you. It really will. It's that bad. But here it is. January 16, I did this little skit, really simple on word processor. Just putting my opinion out there about what they may do. Okay? My opinion. I state my opinion. Okay? This is my opinion. And here it is on the news today. They're going to label extremists to be added to the list of the watch lists, okay? And we'll go over the watch lists they just made viewable to the public, okay? We all know about the BDS stuff, right? Look what happened with the BDS stuff. This hasn't happened yet, but I give it time about the anti-Semitism being illegal in certain aspects. Give it time. I can't even say this word, or the powers that be like to give you a smackdown for saying it. I'll call it the HC, and questioning that, like you can't do in these other countries, is coming here. This hasn't become illegal yet, but give it time. Give it time. They're going to make it. I don't know if they can get away with making it illegal here in the United States, but there's going to be penalties. But anyway, this stuff about the extremist activity that I had an opinion on came true. It came true this week. And I'm going to show you that here in 1 second. You guys can go watch this video of mine. It's on my main channel, my Fellow Man account, and watch the other stuff I talked about. This is a pretty good thing I put together here. Let's see if I can go over some other stuff. Today, let's see, what else did I talk about? Oh yeah, the psychological operations used to sway public opinion, the order out of chaos idea. At the same time, they're going to do two agendas, okay? They're going to put more police state with the authorities, okay? And they're going to sway public opinion to think that defending yourself is a bad thing and having a firearm. Okay, that's the two agendas going on at the same time. The Democrats are the ones more on the side of disarming. The Republicans are more on the side of enforcing the police state. So there you go. Two sides of the same coin, right? And I'm just your average working guy, man. I'm not, one of these college professor types sit here and feed you a bunch of BS. I look at the information and I analyze it, and there it is for the average person. Just read this, pretty good stuff. But I'm going to show you the orders that they just pushed through. Okay. Here they are, the unclassified documents of the FBI. This was released, I believe, on August 1st. It went national news, but they made this, I think, in May of this year, and actually started on in October of last year. But as you read through this, they're pushing the domestic extremist label on people who question certain events, and you know what these events are. We can't even say this stuff anymore on YouTube. We can't even question this stuff anymore. Now, why is that? When you can't question something, why is that, right? You guys aren't dumb. You know what's going on. There's people in these other countries, no offense to some people I do know in my neighboring countries, okay, that don't think this is happening. That they don't think that psychological operations are happening to sway public opinion, to implement new laws. And we're going to go over the laws that they did push after these events. I'm not going to play the whole video, but I'm going to play part of it. Here you go. I mean, I can't even really talk about what's on here because I'll let you read it for yourself, because the algorithms pick up what you say and all that now. So just stay up for a while for people to learn. I mean, here it is, folks. You guys go look at the articles yourself, and you'll see it. Look, there's even a questionnaire on how it'll all go down and if it's satisfied or not, you know. Oh my gosh. Let me go over the parts that really were concerning to me. Labeling conspiracy theorists as domestic terrorists. I mean, you never thought that would really come to play in this country. You know, our freedom of the press, our freedom of speech, our freedom to question the powers that be are being taken away because of our own apathy. Okay? This is how important it is to talk to your neighbor about this stuff, because once they get the public opinion to agree with them, to implement their actions, then it's hard to get that back. It's hard to break their agenda once it's implemented, right? I mean, once it goes through, once they get the public opinion to okay it, it's done. It's almost written in stone, right? Here we go. The PG, let's call it the PG. I mean, that gate, I can't even say it. The NWO, you can't question that. Can't question HAARP. Wow. And here we go. Certain events that happened in 2012, right? The SH. There it is. That's why I was warning people about the GDL. You know, they're making these prank calls to businesses. You think when they get under their so-called siege that they're talking about, do you think the powers that be are gonna look at that lightly when they're making prank calls to businesses and acting the way they do, not questioning certain powers and certain events rationally and with a little dignity, you know, instead of acting like crazies, calling businesses and making prank calls. You know, there you go. I mean, here it is. You can't even you know, synagogue thing, the mosque thing. I mean, I can't even. I'm not gonna say it. I can't because it'll be taken down. There it is. It's all in here, folks. It's happening. It's happening. And they even related today how the Patriot Act affects this, what they're doing today. You know, how the Patriot Act was the opening door for this to happen. See, it's a slow process. They have to get the public mind to agree with it, or they'll have the uprisings they can't control. That's why psychological operations happen. Okay, this is enough of this. Let's look what they're doing.
Social media companies to develop tools that can detect mass shooters before they strike.
More surveillance online is supposed to mean more security offline. Does any of that sound familiar? After 9/11, the Bush administration launched a broad, sweeping surveillance program. The NSA collected data on millions of Americans. We now know about it thanks to Edward Snowden's...
Other than to have the federal government on board as looking for ordinary Americans as terrorists as they relate to criminals who perform terrible crimes. And so if you can say that perhaps the El Paso shooter belonged to certain groups, then you could, by extension, reach terrorism label to those groups, and then to the people of those groups, and to the family of the people of those groups, and all of a sudden you've managed to have all of your political enemies on a list to go to jail.
Did you digest that, folks? I know this is from RT, and I'm no fan of RT, but this is a good explanation of what they're doing and how they're relating all these so-called events being lumped together with 4chan, 8chan, the whole works. There you go. You know, I stepped back and I gave this a chance to believe this might have been a different kind of event, if you will. Maybe gang related. Like, there's a lot of gangs in El Paso and all that. But no, it's always the so-called one person that comes into a Walmart with all these HD cameras, looking at them, right? HD. All these cell phones from a distance. And all you get is pictures of people running and no actual event, you know. But it's okay for certain police networks to release footage of shooting a guy with a knife on the street, showing him get shot, right? But there's no sensitivity to that man's family, right? So we're seeing what they can control and what they can't control, and a difference between. There we go, folks. I think you should look at this with a critical mind and look at the agenda at hand, and people not wanting to question this, calling you crazy for questioning it, I think you should really question those people and why they're on here. And I'll leave it at that. And let's look at the laws that came out of certain events like this. Okay? Absolutely disgusting, folks. Wow.
USC 2331. This meets it. It appears to be designed to intimidate a civilian population, to say the least. We are treating it as a domestic terrorism case, and we're going to do what we do to terrorists in this country, which is deliver swift and certain justice. Your definition of domestic terrorism, 18 USC 2331. This meets it. It appears to be designed to intimidate a civilian population, to say the least. We are treating it as a domestic terrorism case, and we're going to do what we do to terrorists in this country, which is deliver swift and certain justice.
Here you go, folks. They're treating this now as a domestic terrorist case right after the documents were released a couple days ago. I mean, I just can't put two and two together. I'm going to go back to playing Magic the Gathering games and stuff like that. Play Fantasy World. Yeah. It's time to wake up, guys. I mean, this is it. If you care about your country, care about America, care about your civil liberties and the Bill of Rights, it's time to speak up and tell these people that are lying to us to stop it. Okay? To stop giving us new laws that we don't need.